facing nowadays, we are facing this problem when we are taking online classes. We doesn't know whether it is an interactive or not. So most of the time we are not getting any response. So simply I'll be telling to my students. So sometimes I feel that uh, simply speaking, I feel that I'm alone. When I'm taking the class, I feel that I'm alone. So we can change this so that now we'll let me give few practicing example for making our teaching and learning is an interactive way. Okay. Let me give a short intro about me. Myself, Lieutenant Dr. D. Anthony Arulraj. I'm working as an associate professor and also an associate NCC officer, and I belongs to PSG College of Arts and Science. Okay. So before stepping into this today's discussion, let me like to share few quotes about the teacher and about the learners. So first we'll start with the teacher. I hope you all will agree with this quote. A good teacher know how to bring out the best in the student. Am I right? A good teacher know how to bring out the best in the student. See, usually we feel that teacher's duty is to teach, but the term is differing here. A teacher is a person who knows how to bring out the best in the student. There may be a student, we are facing different types of students, right? So some of the students are top learners, and we find some of them are moderate learners, some of them are average learners. But every student is having some unique talents. So as a teacher, it is our challenging duty to find out the best. That is the challenging duty we are facing, right? Okay, the next term, learning. Learning is the capacity. If we have the capacity, it is a gift. If we have the capacity to learn, that is a gift we have. If we have the ability to learn, is a skill, and the willingness to learn is a choice. So as a learner, we should have all these three things, that is a gift, skill, and a choice. So everybody, all of them are gifted, and everybody is skilled, and everybody, it is their own choice whether they are going to learn or whether they are going to acquire knowledge. So this is the term we are getting from this quotes. Okay. So if we want to make a interactive online teaching, we should know some of the things, that is roles, commitments of a teacher, involvement, and choice of learning. All these things are essential if we want to make our teaching as an interactive. Let us discuss now. Today I'm going to cover some of the things. I hope everybody is, mostly all of them are teachers. So we have knowledge. It is now we are going to just recall all those things. So in this forum, I'm just trying to recall the definition of pedagogy, teacher, facilitator, learner, and a student. And next we are going to discuss about understanding and guiding young minds. It is also a challenging role. It is not much easy to understand and to guide our young minds, since we are all dealing with higher education institutes, we are all dealing with adult minds. And next we are moving to the topic of best practices for online learning. And I'm going to conclude with one tool, how to make PPTs, how to make posters. So by the support of online tools, we can make our work much easier. Let us have a hands-on training at the end of the session. So let me start with the pedagogy. Pedagogy, it is an art. It is an art, and it is a science or a profession of teaching. So pedagogy is nothing but is a art, science, or a profession of teaching. Pedagogy is a term that refers to the method how teachers teach. in theory and in practical. So pedagogy is nothing but it's just giving a method. There are n number of methods available. So we are supposed to choose any one of the method to make our teaching an interactive one. It refers to the study of teaching approaches and how they affect learners. So it is very important while teaching, we indirectly approach the mind of youngsters. It should affect them. Then only they could learn, they could uh, grab all the information whatever you are giving. A carefully considered pedagogy is essential in enabling students to learn more effectively. Pedagogy is essential in enabling students to learn more effectively, not to learn simply. We have to enable the student to learn more effectively and can help them develop high order thinking skills. So this is the term the pedagogy is giving various definitions for pedagogy. Next, so since we are all teachers, we supposed to know few definitions for teachers and the characteristics. Simply, I'm not going to give any theoretical definitions from anywhere. Simply by practice, by practically whatever we are, I'm going to try to uh, share with you. So when we are going to discuss with this definition, characteristics, and role of teacher, here I have one more quote: "A best teacher teach from the heart, not from the book." So all the teachers having a unique aim that the teacher want to be a best teacher. I hope everybody will agree this term. We want to be a best teacher. How we could be a best teacher? So let us have some few glimpses of that. So before getting the definition of teacher, we supposed to know the meaning of the other term is called facilitator. Okay, so the teacher versus facilitator. Mostly in an industry, IT industry, when the students are getting into the IT initially, they have some training. Okay, 3 months they will be having training. During that training, somebody will take care of them. That particular person will not be referred as a trainer or a teacher. They'll be referred as a facilitator. Okay, so now we'll discuss the difference between. Let us find the difference between teacher and the facilitator. A teacher is a person who helps students to acquire knowledge, competence, or a virtue. But the facilitator is somewhat little different. So teacher simply teaches, helps to acquire the knowledge, but there is a there is a changes in the role of a facilitator. So now let us discuss about facilitator, then we'll come for the conclusion whether teacher is essential or the facilitator essential. At the end of this uh, session, let us come to the conclusion whether teacher is best or the facilitator is best. So let me move on to the next. Before discussing about the facilitator, we should know some of the terms. A facilitator is a person or a thing. Maybe it may be a person or a thing that makes an action or a process easy or easier. Nowadays, it is very important. There are many difficult things are there, but a teacher should teach the things in an easy or easier way. That is very important. Now, a teacher should change their role to a facilitator when they are trying to teach a difficult concepts. A facilitator is a person who helps a group of people to work together, right? So we are not dealing with a single student. We were dealing with a mass crowd. We have around 60 or 40 or 30 students. So we should be a facilitator to make them in a group for better understanding their common objectives and plan how to achieve these objectives. See, every person is having some common objectives. As a student, they have a common objectives to get their degree, and we try to help them how to achieve these objectives. It means that we are trying to help them to get their degree. At the same time, they should acquire some knowledge which helps us for their future. The teacher must adopt the role of facilitator, not a content provider. Sometimes we try to miss out. Sometimes we feel that in online teaching class, we feel that we are a content provider. Simply we are speaking, but we are not able to interact with the students. I do agree with this. So the present situation is like that. I do agree with that, but we try to change the situation. Okay. Next, the role of a facilitator. Teacher teach, but a facilitator may teach, also motivate. A facilitator will give a guidance. A facilitator will provide, will be a bridge builder between the groups, and a facilitator will be a questioner. A facilitator will be a peacemaker. A facilitator will be a taskmaster. A facilitator should be a praiser. See, all of them. So even right from our family to our professional area, everybody is thinking that if somebody, we feel that, usually we feel that if someone comes and praises, we'll be very happy. As a facilitator, we should praise our students for their good things, whatever the things they are doing, whatever the achievements they were doing during the school, during their course. We are the first person to praise them for their action. So these are the roles we should adopt. As a teacher, we should adopt these characteristics like motivator, and we should be a guide, and we should be a bridge builder, and we should be a questioner, and we should be a taskmaster, peacemaker, and a praiser. Okay. So to be a best, if I want to be a best teacher, first I have to learn the pedagogy. It is simply, we'll speak. Yeah, I'm a traditional teacher. I supposed to use only blackboard and chalk. I do not use the digital things. But the world is changing. We have to adopt to that situation. And since, say, once upon a time, when the students trying to use the mobile phone in the classroom, we try to scold them. But nowadays, what happens? We always insisting our students to have their own mobile. This is the situation changes. Simply, let me think. In my classes, before this COVID also, all the students, they'll be having their mobile phones. Usually the student have the tendency of seeing their mobile for within 5 or 10 minutes. I supposed to do this as a practice in my classroom. What I'll do, I'll give a question. Immediately I'll ask all my students to take their mobiles and find the answer through the Google. So ultimately what I'm trying to do it, I'm trying to cope up their mentality. Otherwise they'll be doing the same. All of them are doing that, but we have to make it in a right way. So this is the way we have to change our teaching methods. So if we want to change our methods, we should be clear with pedagogy. So the teaching pedagogy is giving a lot of methods. There are n number of methods are available. You please try to learn that and try to compare that to your present situation and try to adopt it. To be a best teacher, be a teacher by helping to acquire the knowledge, and also be a facilitator by making the learning process as interesting and easier. It should not be a one-way communication. It should be a interactive method. Even though the things will be changed in future, all the students nowadays, it's starting, all the students are getting into the classroom. uh, uh, for the past 2 years, all of them are learning at their home. But now the situation has changed. So we want to be a facilitator. We want to be a facilitator. Okay. The next thing, in support of young minds. So we'll discuss about learner. As a teacher, we also should be a learner because things are changing. New updated informations are day by day. There are many updations. Okay, we should be a learner. How we are going to be a learner? Let us discuss now. It is very difficult to deal with adult education process. I hope you all will agree this word because they have their own idea, their own perceptions, their own views. It is very difficult to make them to get involved in a particular or a common objective. I do agree. Is it very difficult to deal with adult education process? Sometimes. Why? Let us make the question in ourselves. Why it is difficult? Because sometimes young minds overflows. Whatever we are giving, it is not essential for them. Sometimes they know very well comparatively with us. They know better more than us, right? So sometimes the young minds will overflow. Should we should try to manage that situation. We should be a master. We should learn some new things which the student does not know. When so usually I'll do that when first of all, when I'm getting into the classroom, I try to learn the character of each and every student. I give personal attention to all the students. There might be a good student when I'm trying to teach. For example, when I'm trying to teach C programming, he or she may have a good knowledge in C. In that case, I try to find some objective questions on C which may not able to solve easier. Then I will grab. If I'm doing that, then I'll grab the attention of the person who is having a good knowledge. At the same time, I also grab the attention of other students because I'm giving some new information. So information should be a new, or even the information is old information, but we have to represent the same or the same information in a new way. Okay, for the education of young minds, the most useful things are useless one. Sometimes we feel it is very important, but as a young student, he or she may think that it is useless for them. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. First of all, we have to educate. We have to educate their heart. So we have to grab their attention before we are trying to teach. That is very essential. So let us have some how to get the grab, or how to grab the attention, or how to get the attention of all our students. First, we should build a positive space. Okay, we should build a positive space. Knowingly or unknowingly, sometimes when we are trying to enter the classroom, or when we are trying to take a very difficult topic, we try to say, dear students, today I am going to take a topic. It is very important, but it is very difficult to understand. So what we are trying to do in that situation, we indirectly giving a negative impression on the topic. So we have to change that. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are doing nowadays, we are doing that. So we should change it in a positive space. See, it is a very important thing. If you we have to say that it is a very important topic, and it will give it may be complicated, but if you learn this, then you have achieved a good thing. Okay, so now there is a test for everyone. We try to say that it is a test for you. Taking up the test or leaving the test is their own. We have to say that it is your own choice. So we have to make it as positive space. Next, a teacher should control the entire crowd. But usually, what we try to do, I came. When I'm entering the class, everybody should see. We try to threaten them. Hey, I'm a teacher. I'll reduce your marks. Likewise, we are telling. So this should be avoided. We should have a control, not by threatening or not not putting a lot of rules. We have to show the affection and care to the student. They have to understand. We have to make them to understand that we are there for them. This is the thing we are supposed to do it. Next, we should be bold and commanded. Whenever we are speaking, we should be bold, and our words should be commanded. Okay, so the voice is the voice plays a vital role in our teaching, but not arrogant. See, there is a difference between commanding and arrogant. Okay, so as a teacher, we know the meaning. We try we try to adopt it. We should be bold and commanding, but we should not be a arrogant person, and we should be respect their emotions. So all the young minds, all the adult persons, they are coming from different situations, they are coming from different families, they have their emotions. We should not play with their emotions. We should respect their emotions, make them to explore. Usually teacher teaches, but here we should play a role of facilitator. We should say that this is the area you may get the information. Likewise, we have to give lot of practices to get the knowledge by their own. Basic should be taught, but the advanced things they should explore and get the knowledge. Next, create a zeal to learn new things. See, it is our responsibility to make our students to learn new things. But see, we may have lot of tasks. We can praise them. We can give some gifts. So by doing this, we can create a zeal to learn new things. Show your empathy, not your sympathy. It is also the one of the thing. See, whenever a student is having a problem, we have to feel that as like our own problem. He's not. We are all family. When we are coming to the college or when we are getting to the classroom, we are all family. See how we express our feelings to our family members, as like we try to do it. Okay, and we should be friendly, but not beyond the limit. I hope you will understand the limit. Okay, everybody is having their own limits. We have our own limits, but we should be friendly, but not beyond the limit. So if we follow these things, then we should be a best teacher. So first of all, we should learn the pedagogy. Then we should adopt the role of facilitator, and we should as a facilitator, we should follow few things in our classroom. Then our teaching will be more interactive, more interesting also, and it will be liked by everyone. Okay, so I hope I took half an hour, so it may be boring. So let me give a small exercise to one of you all. So I'm going to tell about a story, and end of the story, I'm going to ask a question. So let us see whether see, some of them all the teachers may know the answer, but this is the way we have to attract the students. So that I'm doing as a practice here. Okay, this is the story. The story starts with the two friends. They plan to travel in a deserted area. Okay, so it is a long journey, so they have to carry their food. Okay, so what they decided, one of the friend carried 5 bread, the other friend carried 3 breads. So this is what they started, and they started their journey. During their journey, there is a person, he is a wise person, he is a rich person. We can give any terms to them, any term to him. He is a very rich person. He is also joining with him during their journey. The journey was continuing. They were walking towards to their destination. So it's around 7 o'clock. They plan to take a rest. Before taking the rest, they plan to have their dinner. So all three of them were sitting. So this rich person also became a friend to them. But what happened, unfortunately, the rich person having many things. He is carrying a lot of gold, he is carrying a lot of money, but he forgot to carry his food. So now that friend or that two friends they were decided to share their breads now to the unknown person. That means that rich person. Okay. So now they equally split it, and they all had their dinner, and they went for their rest. So they took 3 4 hours rest. Again, they have to continue their journey. So both the friends were woke up. They found that that third person is missing. He got up earlier and he started his journey before them. Okay, but they found 8 gold coins were placed in front of them, and there is a slip. Thanks for your dinner. So it is my gratitude. I want to show my gratitude so that I left this 8 coins. Kindly have with you and be happy. Didn't likewise the statement was written, and immediately what happens? The two friends they plan to split the coins. So usually end up on usually as like a normal person, they splitted 4 coins. But what happens once the coins came into their friendship? So they are not happy. After getting the 8 coins, they are not happy. They shared equally to them, but they are not happy. So something is going on both of their mind. One friend is thinking that if I if I woke up earlier than my friend, then I can get all the 8 coins. See, both of them they woke up together, so that only. So likewise, as a human being, as a normal human being, we also have like such type of thoughts, no? So it was their journey was unhappy after receiving this coin. See, they were traveling. One a person who have a good knowledge and he is aged around 60, he is also interrupting in their journey, and he asked, why you are not happy? So I was watching you from the first. You both of them were happy when you started your journey. Today morning, why you are not happy? He was asking that question to the friends. Immediately they try to share all the informations what they had, what happened. So this is your problem. Suddenly the person is telling that, is it your problem? Don't think that. Give all the 8 coins to me. He get all the 8 coins, and he gave 7 coins to one person, and the next and the 1 coin to the other person. And he told that it is the right way to split this coin. So now I'm asking how it will be right. Can anyone give your suggestions? So the coins were splitted into, finally the coins were splitted into 7 and 1. Can anyone give an answer for this? Hello? 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 Okay. Just take a few minutes to find this answer. This logically, we have to think logically. Okay, let me give the answer to you all. Actually, they initially they have 8 breads. So I said that it was equally splitted. So all the 8 breads were splitted into 24 pieces, and everybody had it. All the three members had it equally. I told that equally. It means that it is splitted into 24 pieces. Everybody had 8 pieces. It means that all the three persons had 8 pieces, right? So the richest person is also received 8 pieces from them. Okay, so that is why he left at 8 coins. Now we'll come to the logic. See, the fourth person here who interrupt their journey told that this might be splitted into 7:1. Let us explain you. Just see this. There are 8 breads equally splitted into 24 pieces. Friend 1 brought 5 breads. It means that it is splitted into 15 pieces. But he ate only 8 pieces. He contributes 7 pieces to the person. When coming to the second person, he brought 3 breads. It is split into 9 pieces. He ate 8, but he contributes only 1. So that only the coin should be split into 7:1. This is the logic behind the story. Okay, now let us get into learner. See, learner in the sense, the student is a learner, teacher also to be a learner. Okay, so let us compare student versus learner. Student with learner. Student, a person formally engaged. A person, please see the word formally engaged in learning, especially one enrolled in a school or college. So this is the definition given for a student. A learner is someone who is learning about a particular subject or how to do something with or without any instructor. This is the difference between a student. A student, a person is formally engaged, but a learner is coming with their own interest. Okay. A student may be passive, a learner is active. Student sometimes is bored, learner always be engaged. Student told what to think, but a learner an independent thinker. Okay. Typically unmotivated, the student is unmotivated, learner is motivated. Learner is internally motivated. So and finally, a student focus on the grade, but a learner focused on the knowledge. It means focused on the learning. Okay. So next we are going to discuss about phases of effective learning. So there are a lot of phases. So we are going to discuss about some of the phases. So first, wanting to learn. It means interest to learn, taking ownership of self-ownership. Okay, what has been learned? We have to decide what has to be learned. Learning thoughts, feedback. Learning through feedback. So we have to make lot of feedbacks, self-feedback, self-analysis. Based on that, we have to learn new things. And learning should not be a it should not be a passive thing, it should be an active thing. So whenever we learn, we should learn by doing, we should learn by practicing. So these are the phases to make our learning as an effective learning. Okay, so some of the characteristics we used to choose from here to be a best learner: we should have energy, we should have enthusiasm, we should have creativity, we should have passion, we should be committed, we should be relentless. Okay, so now again we'll step into the other exercise. I hope all of them are tired because it is our lunch time. I'll be completing within 5 minutes. So before that, here is a term is given. Try to read this term. So please try to give this term to your student. Ask them to read. It is an activity they supposed to do in the we supposed to do in our classroom. Let us explain with a proof. Learning is very essential. Learning makes our life. Learning give the changes in our life. See, I have given the sentence, hang him, not leave him. The same sentence can be read like this: hang him not, leave him free. The same sentence is giving two meaning, right? It provides a two meaning. In way which we read the sentence will give two different action. One action we try to kill a person. The other action we try to save a person. So this is how learning makes difference. So how we are learning, the way in which we are learning will give a positive future. Okay. Characteristics of a good learner: be with zeal. It means be with a lot of interest to explore new things. It is also one of the very important characteristics to be a good learner. And we should be unique. When we have knowledge, even we have money, we could not be unique person. But if you have a knowledge, then you might be unique. Okay. And if we want to be a good learner, first we have to be a good listener. Because when we listen clearly, then we can understand clearly. And nobody is going to motivate you. We should have a self motivation. We should have a self motivation action, that um, uh, we have to motivate ourselves. Okay. Next, we should be committed. Whenever we decided to do things, then we should be committed on doing that things. And application mind of creativity is also a one of the important characteristics to be a good learner. Okay. So there are nine number of self-learning platforms nowadays. We are not going to libraries because all the libraries are loaded in our Google engine. So whatever the books required, simply we can search through Google search, and we can get the informations through Wikipedia. And our Indian government is also encouraging Swayam portal to learn new things, and there are n number of tutorial websites and online libraries are available. So we try to use this to be a good learner. We should grab the knowledge. Okay. Next, there are n number of ICT tools for studying is available. Some of the tools I have mentioned here: Cram, Writes, Hobo cards, vocabulary, learning port, study blue. These are the some of the tools which is available online for studying or learning. Okay. ICT tools for lesson series. There are lesson series also available: Gurko, Book Wicket, Gokan, Read Writing. So these are the some of the lesson series available in our online. So let me give a few glimpses of Canva. So Canva, say, I hope all of them are seeing this presentation. This presentation was made by using Canva, and it is very simple. I do not feel any difficulty to make this. Okay, let me show some of the advantages of Canva. So let us get into that. Okay, so I take 10 minutes to teach this. It is more than enough to learn about this particular tool. So if you want to use this Canva, so just go and type Canva in your Google. So this is the web page. You may find it, and you can register for free. Okay. So there are two options. You can use this as a free, but only thing, um, you may not download your PPTs from here. So even I'm using this free version so that I could not download, but all my PPTs are available in my login. I can use it online. Yeah, I could not download this, and I could not use this as a standalone application. It can be used with the support of your web base. That is the only difference between paid version and free version. Okay. So when you are going to get into the home, you may find this is the home page for this Canva. After registering, you may get this. Here there is an option to create presentation. You can create posters, Instagram posts, you can make videos, and you can make logos. See, one thing I want to share with you all as a faculty, we could learn everything, but sometimes it is very difficult to create a posters whenever we are conducting the programs. So we always expect the assistance of our students. But see, there is a difficulty when we are using the student. The student may not understand your view and perceptions. So always you have to depend with the student. As a teacher, we should learn and do the things. So this Canva will support you to do your own things, right? So let me give some few things here. So we'll make our own presentation. Just click the presentation, or whatever you want to do, just click it. It will go to that one. And here you may find lot of templates. You can choose any template depending upon your topic. So you can find any template. I'm just clicking this. This is the template I'm going to use. So simply here, if you want to change this picture, you can change it. So by adding the picture, how we can add the pictures? Upload, by pressing upload. Here I'm not having any since my laptop is installed, reinstalled, I'm not having any pictures. If you find any pictures, you just press upload and just drag the picture to post it here. I have already dragged some of the, I have already uploaded some of the pictures here. If I want to choose this picture, just I want to do this. Okay, I want to change this picture. And actually it is in a video. If you want to add anything, you can add it here. Okay, so I want to change the text. Just clicking, you can change the text. Once you are changing the text, you can change the size by changing this numberings. You can change the size, you can change the color. Everything is possible here. Okay, and there are more things. It means that here you can add elements. If I want to add some of the elements, I want to add like this, you can add it. Just click and drag. Nothing, we don't want to get worried, because simply just clicking and you have to drag that to your PPT. So this is how you can do everything, and it is a matter of 5 to 10 minutes to make a presentation. So just go and try to use this Canva and feel the experience. So I hope you'll be